Pushing teams on Verdansk can seem impossible, but the trick is all in the positioning. Rotate around the outside of an enemy push, hold down your teams, squeeze from the opposite side. Weave your way in and out of cover, and give yourself the perfect vantage point to take out multiple enemies and send them to the gulag. When you're lacking in intel, prioritize combining your cache so that you can get a UAV and find exactly where enemies are hiding. Make note of the up and down arrows on your minimap, and again coordinate through pings and your voice comms to help flush out enemy players. Communicate their plate status and their rotation so you can coordinate the attack on their escape. Straggling enemies will sometimes not know exactly where to land, so giving them a little motivation can definitely throw them into more bad situations. Enemy teams like to cluster together in buildings. Use your heartbeat sensors so that you can get a clearer picture of where teammates are hiding together. Apply pressure on their fly-ins and systematically weave through cover as you approach. Once again, take the outside angle and apply more pressure to save your team from unnecessary deaths during the ambush. Do not over-push into a building full of people. You do not know how many are in there or where they are hiding. Pre-aim multiple windows and doors and find your kill. Don't get too thirsty as you push for them, because a teammate will be holding you the same way. Have an exit strategy and fall back to regain the better angle. When you're communicating your intel, coordinating your attack and splitting into twos is extremely effective. Once again, moving to an outside area away from where your teammate is pushing can give you an extreme upper hand. Baiting them back into your teammate's line of sight while communicating that they're coming can put them in an extremely bad situation. Learn to trade with your teammates. In Verdansk, it is not all about kills. It is about wiping teams and winning games. Remember where shots come from and use perks like Tracker so that you have a better outline of your target. Check every entryway and every opening as you clear through a position. You need to prioritize the push along with your teammate. If you push one at a time, you are giving them exactly what they want. Coordinate your attack and be ready for when things go south. Buy your teammate back before you complete the push when possible, and give them appropriate comms about whether or not their loot is safe. Once you initiate an attack, watch your minimap for teammates' position and then move away from the vantage point of your teammate. Holding an exterior flank can confuse the enemy into thinking there's a third party and help execute more pinches. It's fantastic for gaining intel, live pings, and even taking down teammates as they scramble. We want to initiate a gunfight from the protection of cover whenever possible, and we don't want to push for our thirst as aggressively on large map like we do in Rebirth. Constantly be focused on the economy of your team and be pushing and be utilizing your cache for UAVs to gain the most amount of intel for both who's on you and where you want to go next. Holding a different angle while sniping is also extremely powerful. Having multiple vantage points can once again be extremely powerful at separating enemy teams. Always change your position after your knock so that they don't know where to defend from. Once they start to scramble, you will have the upper hand through a different position. When rotating to a high ground, use the aerial advantage to gather as much intel as possible. So once you arrive on target, you're using that high ground to effectively take out the enemies that you saw. Communicating each rotation to your team. Be aware of your surroundings and how to use the terrain to combat fortified enemies, and then move to the best possible vantage point. If you disable a vehicle, it is important to notify your team so that they can push towards the fleeing enemy for the best ambush. Constantly prepare new levels of elevation to apply pressure to teams for the win. And always be ready if you get surprised. Holding the collapsing zone between gas and the line is the most effective way to control your positioning. Communicate enemies' rotations. Start to build the framework of where enemies want to go and where they are. If you're stuck between two teams, you want to coordinate which direction you're all going to go together. Prioritize using the buy when necessary and keeping appropriate cash flow for late game buybacks. Assess which team is of higher priority to rotate towards and where you'll have the most control. Communicate new rotations and use powerful pieces of equipment like precision airstreaks to force enemies off of power positions so that you have the advantage. Even after the gas collapses around it, make sure you run security to ensure that the team is not in the gas rotating behind you. Once you get fresh intel, then utilize your new vantage point for the win. If you enjoyed today's video and you learned something, don't forget to like and subscribe. Keep building, keep adapting, sit rep out.